Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Invasive Species, the series where we run Hoenn mons in Kanto, and Kanto mons in Hoenn. As a fan of the bug type and the Hoenn decks in general, today is going to be a real fun one. Before we get into the specifics of today's contender, here's a quick rundown of the rules, and you can find them outlined in great detail in the description below. We run on max IVs, we choose the nature and ability if applicable, and we choose the hidden power type, and each mon has access to a single egg move. Mons without egg moves get access to a single move tutor move. This is in the interest of fairness. Dusttox is a bug poison final form bug meant to be used in the early game, then replaced later on, partly in due to this base stat total right here. That's not great overall, though I do really like that our special defense is high. Actually, our bulk overall isn't that bad, and 65 base speed, and we can certainly work with that. We don't hit very hard, which is unfortunate because our moves are pretty good overall. Starting with Confusion is fantastic, even with our subpar special attack stat. Psychic mons are typically very strong in Kanto, and although we're not that type, having a psychic move at 50 base power will help a lot in the early game, between the abundance of poison types as well as hikers with Geodude, Onyx, and fighting types. We learn moves at a consistent pace and have some great utility like Light Screen and Moonlight. Oh, and what's this? An actual bug move? In my Gen 3? Why, I never. Yeah, same type Silverwind is going to be awesome. Can't wait to put that to use. It is physical in this game, as are all bug moves, so that will be affected by this game's many Intimidate users. Well, that level up move list wasn't too bad, and it gets even better through our TMs. I wouldn't say that our coverage is amazing, but that we have the right kind of coverage. Aside from maybe Lance, we'll have great moves for all the major trainers throughout the course of the run. We'll almost certainly slap on Giga Drain for the final battle for a free heal against the champions Rhydon. Solar Beam Sunday strats could be effective in the endgame too. Now normally, as mentioned before, mons have access to a single egg move, but Dusttox doesn't have any egg moves. Again, in the interest of fairness, as Dusttox's competitor does have an egg move, it's going to get a single move from the Emerald move tutor list. Emerald because move tutors do not exist in Ruby Sapphire, so mons like Dusttox will treat the Emerald list like egg moves. For Kanto mons like Gyarados, whom we'll be running later on, who don't have access to egg moves, we'll use the Fire Red Leaf Green move tutor list instead. So here's what's available for Dusttox. Not what I'd call a winning assortment of moves, but I think that Swift is going to be the most useful. If we really want the raw power of Double Edge, we can get it before the league. And Swift not only bypasses accuracy and evasion checks, meaning Sand Attack is far, far less annoying, but it doesn't make contact, so we don't have to worry about annoying abilities like Static or Flame Body. Speaking of abilities, we have an excellent one this run in the form of Shield Dust. Shield Dust prevents the Pokemon from being afflicted with a status condition caused by a damaging move. For example, we can never get burned from a fire move like Fire Blast, or frozen with an ice move like Blizzard. That is frickin' awesome. Dusttox and Beautyfly, the latter whom we'll be running at a later date, are two of my favorite mons in Hoenn, so I'm very pumped for this run. Confusion Spam is our strat for making our way to Brock, with Swift for cleanup if we can't one-shot, and Confusion is definitely the answer for Pewter City's gym leader. Bro has two rock ground types with pretty bad special defense. Not only that, but we can potentially confuse Geodude and Onyx, as the eponymous status condition has a 10% chance to proc when using this move. However, our ability will actually work against us in the Brock battle, because Rock Tomb does not lower speed thanks to Shield Dust, and Onyx is programmed to use it until it's faster, or is in range to knock you out. It's going to keep spamming that move, which is bad because we're weak to it, but it only has 80 accuracy. So, ironically, Brock should actually be fighting smart for once. Yeah, I know, his AI is programmed to take it easy on the player, but don't you think it's kind of funny that Brock's team from Yellow is actually the toughest at the Kanto games, at least in solo format? I'm not counting Let's Go either, because I've never played those. We're basically banking on Geodude wasting turns with Defense Curl, and for Rock Tomb to miss. Except that we're actually slower than Onyx, so Brock, instead of using the super effective move that would waylay our buggy pro tag, is opting for such amazing moves like Tackle and Bind. I mean, hey, I'll give him credit for bringing us slightly below half health, but like, he would have won if he just spammed Rock Tomb. Thanks, Brock, for keeping the first gym battle so consistently constant in this series, at least in the Fire Red runs. I look forward to our next Hoenn mon ruining your day. Now, between Confusion and Swift, we have quite a lot of power points, so we shouldn't have to rest at all after we leave here. When we arrive in Cerulean, we'll have to go to the Poké Center because our power points will almost certainly be depleted by then. As we enter town, the first order of business as usual, grab the rare candy, go to the Poke Center to heal up from the battles we got into in Mount Moon, and we're gonna head on over to Misty's gym, not battling her yet, but we'll fight the trainers. They are a great source of experience points. Now, thanks to our high special defense, as well as the fact we have Shield Dust and Water Pulse not being able to confuse us, we could try fighting her, but I think we're gonna go the safe way, battle the Cerulean rival, battle the trainers on Nugget Bridge, go to Bill's house, and then come back. We can check our time before battling the rival. Here we're at 47 minutes. Let's hope this doesn't take too many tries. We might have Swift for Sand Attack, but as Pidgeotto is generally the strongest mon on the team and has a super effective move, this could be trouble. We'll turn when we were protected from Gust, and there he goes for Sand Attack. We'll swap between Protect and Swift to hopefully block more Sand Attacks, and we get hit by Gust here before taking him down. Thankfully, he did not go for Quick Attack. As we knock out the Pidgeotto, we hit level 20, and we're gonna learn Moonlight and replace Protect. Good job, Protect. You served your purpose, kinda, for this run. Now we have a healing move, so our odds of winning are much better now. As long as Charmander does not crit us with Ember, we should be able to outlast the Fire Lizard. And you can see here just how useful Moonlight is in our survival, and we're able to outmuscle Charmander with Swift. As long as we can take out the Rattata, we're good. Now, as Abra comes out, we can heal up with Moonlight and then use Gust, giving that move some actual use this run. Probably the only time we're gonna see it in action. And Rattata's last, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, we're in no danger here. Very easily able to outmuscle it. Now, as we circle our way back to Misty's gym, we could teach Thief because we can learn it. It'll be super effective against Starmie, but I don't think we're gonna need it. If we do, then I'll teach it after losing the first time, and then we'll definitely win. As we clock in our time at 1 hour and 6 minutes, you can see that was a pretty steady grind. Not too fast, not too slow, though. And you'll notice that we have replaced Confusion with Psybeam. Star used Water Pulse, deals 9 damage. We're going to follow up with another Psybeam and take it down. And as Starmie comes out, we're going to switch on over to Swift, and you can see we're taking quite a bit of damage from the much stronger Pokemon here. If not for Moonlight, we would be very screwed right now. As we rotate between Swift and Moonlight like we're playing a healer in World of Warcraft, I go for Psybeam, hoping for that Fluke Confusion chance, but no dice. I do think we'll need that, though. For the time being, however, we're going to double up on Moonlight as we're getting laid into here, and then follow up with Gust, hoping we keep it out of healing range. And it's right about now where I'm like, yeah, I probably should have taught Thief because the fight would be over here, because Swift ain't doing enough damage. Unfortunately, Misty does heal, and we're going to try for Psybeam again, hope for that Confusion, no dice there. Thankfully, we have Moonlight, although, I hope we don't need a res, because we are out of mana. With no more Moonlights at our disposal, we just have to go for Swift and pray, and if you can believe it, we actually outmuscle Starmie on the first try. That was a bit of a clunky fight, but you know what? We didn't need Thief after all. A first try is a first try. That's awesome. Making our way to the SS Sand, I grabbed the usual items, namely the berries and the trash can. And you're gonna see that I don't save. No, I'm not being overconfident. I just... I made a mistake and went one too many tiles forward, so I hope we win this fight. Well, after Psybeam, we get hit with Sand Attack right away, and as if Dusttox is frustrated too, Critical Swift takes it down. As Kadabra comes out, I'm going to go for Thief and try to bait it into disabling it. Disable does miss, but then it goes for Kinesis. Our accuracy is down 2 stages, so Swift is the way going forward. Kadabra's Frail goes down quite easily, and no, we don't want to learn Whirlwind. We have no reason to take that move. And as Charmeleon comes out, it goes for Growl on turn 1. I gotta say, that was pretty smart on the AI's behalf. It's not typically the status that Gen 3 likes to go for, but you'll see here that it ultimately doesn't matter between Swift and Moonlight. We're good to go. We knock out Charmeleon with Swift, having 50 out of 78 health left, and since Raticate remains, yeah, we're good to go. Unless we get crit constantly, which we didn't, so huzzah! Next up is Lieutenant Surge, and you're gonna notice the difference with Shield Dust here. Voltorb's Spark is not gonna paralyze us because it protects us from that. However, once Pikachu comes out, it's gonna go for Thunder Wave because that's what Gen 3 likes to do. Shield Dust protects us from secondary effects, but we can still be affected by moves like Thunder Wave. I will say I'm legit surprised that Pikachu survived one hit. That might be a first here in this series. I gotta say, despite being paralyzed, it's not that much of a detriment to us. Raichu gets us down to about 23 health, a little lower than I would like, but we power through the paralysis and take out Lieutenant Surge, preventing what might have also been a first, the first being losing to Surge here in Invasive Species. If I have, then I kind of forgot, and you can kindly remind me of that little factoid. And yeah, we're just going to talk over Giovanni here. We get a lot of confusion procs, but only one, Onyx hitting itself once, works in our favor, and Kangaskhan 100% after Tail Whip would have knocked us out with Mega Punch, but Special Attack Bite was way more interesting to Giovanni, apparently. Giovanni is the equivalent of a Gen 1 boomer who just can't stop reliving the old days. He thinks his old ways are the best ways, and I think we all know that's not true. Alright, we're gonna go back to Lavender Tower here, and what's this? As we're battling Pidgeotto, we don't get hit by Sand Attack? My word. And you might have noticed in the Giovanni battle we have Silverwind, so Execute ain't no problem being double weak to that move. As Kadabra comes out, we'll heal, and it goes for Disable, which disables Moonlight. That's kind of double-edged because Silverwind will knock it out, but we can't heal if Charmeleon crits us. And in case you were in danger of thinking our accuracy wouldn't be dropped, meet Charmeleon with Smokescreen, a move that's identical to Sand Attack mechanically, but I think has more power points. And as normal type, you'd think it would be Fire or Poison type, right? Smokescreen? As Gyarados comes out, we lose one stage of attack to Intimidate, and with our accuracy down, Swift is probably going to be the right play here, although we're dealing pitiful damage, and its only attacking move is Thrash, but oh, does it deal a lot of damage. Once again, we can show off our healing skills with Moonlight here. We're going to trade Swift Thrash while we heal with Moonlight, and you can see just how useful that move has been. Approaching what I like to think of as the halfway point for a Fire Red run, Moonlight has been the linchpin to our success. We're going to battle Koga. I'll go in with Psybeam, and if we lose, I'll teach Psychic, and so far it's looking like we're not needing it. Muck is generally Koga's best Pokemon, in my opinion. Although it's weak to Psychic moves, it ain't taking that much, and Swift ain't doing much better. Fortunately for us, we have passable defense, and we do resist poison due to our typing, and cannot be poisoned, so this fight, well, could definitely be a lot worse. As we take out the second, coughing out comes Wheezing. Psybeam deals just under half and our accuracy is dropped. We'll use Silverwind to chip away at it and keep it out of range for a Hyper Potion. Hopefully this does the trick. Psybeam didn't finish it, but Koga must have ran out of potions, so one Swift down he goes. I'm always happy when he only takes one try. And since we beat Koga, no doubt we can defeat Erika, and now we do have Psychic, just to ensure that we one-shot Victory Bell and Vileplume, and we have Silverwind for Tangalus, so yeah. Pretty simple fight, considering that we can save this fight for any time we want up to the 7th gym. Every major battle has been a first try so far, which blows my mind. Here's where I think it's going to end, though. We're clocking in at 3 hours, 25 minutes. Pretty good time, all things considered. Psych against Pidgeot. Whew, yeah, that's dealing pretty bad damage. Now we're going to play real risky here and try to go for a Silverwind boost. We can stay healthy with Moonlight, but we're going to need a boost for when Charizard comes out, which should be next. Well, that's what I thought, but out comes Execute, so yeah, free one-shot there. Unfortunately, no boost. And then he sends out Alakazam, so free heal. Unfortunately, no Silverwind boost, he just goes for Calm Mind. Psychic deals pretty bad damage to Charizard. Scary Face means we move second now, and yeah, we're gonna get finished off quite easily. But you know what? That was an excellent first attempt. I think that with a Silverwind boost or two, we can win this fight. A special defense drop from Psychic on Charizard would not hurt either. We do have to be mindful of Feather Dance because that will nerf Silverwind's damage and we won't one-shot either Execute or Alakazam if we get hit by it. Unfortunately, we get hit by it here, but thanks to a crit, Pidgeot goes down pretty fast. Now, while we have Moonlight to heal, if we get crit by Wing Attack and we mistime our Moonlight, he does have Quick Attack as well and will be able to take us out. Fortunately, that doesn't happen. However, we've used more Silverwinds than I would like. Feather Dance prevents the one-shot against Execute, but thankfully Stun Spore doesn't hit, 25% chance of that. As Alakazam comes out, seems like we're not having much luck here either. Fortunately, it really can't hurt us. It only has Future Sight as an attacking move. As we take it out, however, we finally get an Omni Boost. 10% chance of that happening. We crit Charizard, not one-shotting him, our speed gets dropped, and although we take massive damage from Flamethrower, we're still alive, and we should be in the clear. Gyarados is faster, but it can't flinch us with Bite, and with Moonlight to keep us healthy, we outlast its damage from Dragon Rage, and we're good to go. I gotta say, that took a lot less attempts than I was thinking it would take, and I'm very, very happy for that. And we can relax for the remainder of Silph Co. We got one more Rocket, and Giovanni, who, while his Kangaskhan is potentially dangerous with things like Tail Whip and Mega Punch, that's a pretty mean combo, especially with same type and Kangaskhan's good attack stat. Everything else we've got a pretty solid answer for. And we're a fair bit higher level than his team, including his Kangaskhan. In fact, only Nidoqueen's in the 40s, which normally would be kind of annoying with Body Slam, but Shield Dust prevents us from being paralyzed. Well, off of that move anyway, but still pretty great. Given the choice between Sabrina and Blaine, we are going for Sabrina. We have excellent moves for her gym as well. Swift one-shots Kadabra. Mr. Mime's next, but it takes only one Silverwind to take it out. Alakazam would be scary, but we crit it with Silverwind for the one-shot. Last is Venomoth, Dustox's rival for the Ruby run here in Invasive Species, and it's a one-shot with Psychic. Well, the only other gym we have to fight through before getting to Giovanni and Viridian City is Blaine, and yeah, there's no two ways about it, this fight's gonna be hard. I am liking that 4-hour, 3-minute time though. His whole team has same type Fire Blast and we're Bug type, even though we have high special defense, this is gonna be pretty rough. Starts off great though by one-shotting Growlithe with a critical Psychic. Blaine sends out Ponyta next, Psychic does over half and Fire Blast misses, ooh, nice. Rapidash is up next, and we're gonna go for Psychic, of course. We deal under half, however, Fire Blast only deals 70 damage to us. Yes, I said only because, don't forget, we're Bug type. Rapidash gets same type from it, that's our special defense coming in real clutch there. No Silverwind boost as Blaine heals, and Fire Blast misses again, I'm liking this. I get greedy and go for Silverwind, no boost, we get hit and brought to 12 health. As Blaine heals, we can heal ourselves with Moonlight as well, after Psychic. Interestingly enough, Rapidash goes for Fire Spin, which does hit. We heal with Moonlight, and not a moment too soon as we tank another Fire Blast thanks to that. Now check this out, as we heal yet again, Rapidash goes for Stomp. I think it's out of Fire Blast. Was that 5 already? Well, judging by Rapidash's next attack, that does seem to be the case here, so we can get pretty greedy with our Silverwinds as long as we don't get crit by Stomp or Fire Spin. With how many turns this is taking, naturally we do get crit, but it's by Fire Spin and not that big of a deal. And try as though we might, although we're chipping Rapidash down and keeping ourselves healthy, we unfortunately do not get a Silverwind boost, which is pretty bad because out comes Arcanine, his best Pokemon. Intimidate doesn't really matter because we're using Psychic, which deals pretty bad damage. Fire Blast, however, does not deal bad damage. It almost takes us out. We bring it to about a third before we get taken down. I gotta say, that was not at all a bad first try. Now, normally in one of these solo runs, you would think that defensive stats don't matter as much because you want better attack, of course, because the more damage you deal and the potential to one or two shot something, the less damage you're going to take. Well, not this run, mate. Dusttox's special defense coupled with Shield Dust means that Blaine's normally dangerous strategy of Fire Blast and hoping it burns you, well, we're still getting hit by it if it does in fact hit, but the fact that we can never get burned is pretty massive. Combine that with the awesomeness of Moonlight and the potential to get a boost from Silverwind, and this fight, although it's going to take some tries, not quite as bad as I thought. I'm actually a lot more concerned about this fight for Beautyfly because Beautyfly's stats basically take Dustox's and swap attack and defense for both physical and special, and yeah, there you go. It's gonna be a lot harder once we get to that Pokemon. And this attempt starts off pretty bad as we get crit by Growlithe. However, we get a boost right away, exactly what we needed. And we're gonna stall up Ponyta. Look how much less damage we're taking from its Fire Blast thanks to that Silverwind boost. I think I'm gonna call that SWB, Silverwind boost. I like that. And after all these attempts, I'm thinking that Ponyta is the best one for us to try to get Silverwind boosts on here. It doesn't deal that much damage to us, provided we don't get critically hit, of course. And hey, there's our second boost. We're out of Moonlight, but Ponyta is out of Fire Blast, so he's donezo. Psychic almost one-shots Rapidash, and 41 damage from Fire Blast. Yeah, I think we're alright. Last is Arcanine. Psychic does great damage. We tank Fire Blast with 50 health remaining, and we win. This is a sort of lucky strategy I kinda don't mind because it's always awesome when you get an Omni boost, whether it's from Ancient Power, Silverwind, or whatever move might have that effect nowadays. I don't know. I've only made it partway through Gen 7, and I know very little about that game too, so I'm gonna say the most I know is, Gen 5? That makes sense. Black and White 1 are my favorite games in the entire franchise. Well, Blaine was tough, but I don't think Giovanni's going to be. Psychic one-shots the first Rhyhorn. As the second one comes out, unfortunately it does survive and slips in a scary face. Giovanni heals, and I'm like, alright, let's get that SWB. I'm getting a little bit greedy here. We don't get one, and our speed gets dropped, so this could be bad. Dugtrio is a one-shot with Silverwind. As Nidoqueen comes out, it survives Psychic, so we're gonna go for Silverwind, and you know the drill by now, we don't get the boost, but we take it out with Psychic with 74 health remaining. Thanks to Moonlight, we survive 2 Earthquakes from Nidoking and take it out in one shot. Wow, I played really bad there, and Giovanni still lost. Why didn't they give this poor guy his yellow team? It's way, way better. As we get ready to battle our rival one more time before the league, I think we know how this is going to go because we know the order in which he'll send them out now. Pidgeot strat is the exact same as it was at Silph Co, with the exact same result we got up until we won. So, no fruit to be bore there. Alakazam unfortunately will require a second Silverwind, and unfortunately, no boost. Ah, Rhyhorn, interesting. The rival does go for Rock Blast, which is smart, but then opts for Takedown while we're healing ourselves. I don't think that's the winning strat here, my guy. Well, no boost as Execute. Ah, well, at least we'll one-shot. Oh, it's Charizard. I wasn't expecting you to come out so early, buddy. We get a special defense drop from Psychic, but crit by Flamethrower and taken out from 140 health. Alright. Okay, so this is new. I wasn't expecting him to send out Charizard before Execute, because he didn't do that at Silph Co. I'm kind of curious as to why. And the fact that Rhyhorn comes out before Charizard means that in the final fight, Rhydon will be coming out before Charizard. That's actually not that bad, though, because if we take damage at that point, we're going to be able to heal with Giga Drain. I can't wait to make use of that strategy, because when we can free heal off of Rhydon, that's pretty sweet. And I hope you're enjoying what I'm going to call the hashtag SWB montage here. By SWB montage, I mean me failing to get any boosts in this fight. But I'm starting to think that we'll probably need more than one to get through this fight at this level. Our poor attack stat is really coming into play here. If we're struggling this much against this battle, I am not looking forward to the Elite Four. Mostly Lance, but I'll talk more about that once we get to him. Well, after Psychic on turn 2, we do get the SWB. We do get punished by a Feather Dance, which is unfortunate, but thanks to that second boost, our Psychic is going to be dealing massive damage now. Well, Alakazam decides to sit there and look pretty as we crit it with Silver Wind. Rhyhorn's up next, but thanks to our boost, Psychic is a one-shot. And our SWB coming in real clutch here because despite Scary Face, we're still faster than Charizard. That special defense drop is just icing on the cake. And I mean, look at that Hydro Pump from Gyarados. 16 damage. Have you ever seen Hydro Pump deal such low damage? So as this fight is over, let's talk strategy for the Elite Four. Now, at the start of the run, I was talking about potential Sunny Day Solar Beam strats. I think that's going to be massive against Lorelei. Our special defense, as I've mentioned a couple times throughout the run, is pretty good. Couple that with Sunny Day nerfing water moves damage by 50% and it making Solar Beam an instant cast, basically. Yeah, I think we have a pretty solid recipe for success here. We have Silverwind to deal with the likes of Jinx and Slowbro. Their Psychic typing is going to be very detrimental to them in this run. Now, as we get ready to battle, we're not going to set up Sunny Day right away. Silverwind and Ice Beam is fine for turn 1. We go for Solar Beam and their Safeguard. Perfect. I have to say, I was quite surprised seeing Slowbro come out next. You saw a slap on a Chestober, that's because this Slowbro knows Yawn, pretty annoying in this fight. We'll set up Sunny Day here, and Surf did pitiful damage. The Chestoberry wakes us up, we go for Solar Beam, and yes, Slowbro's obviously going down. Clayster's next, because the sun is up, it's gonna want to go for Hail, but we're faster, so it really doesn't matter, and it's an easy one-shot with Solar Beam. Lorelei is truly diabolical, sending out Jinx next, which we can one-shot, but that will waste one turn of Sunny Day, which is very unfortunate because we want that up for Lapras. But thankfully, it will be up for just one more turn here, better get the most use out of that. And judging by Solar Beam's damage, as long as we can survive setting up the sun, this should be a 2-shot. We go for Sunny Day, there's Ice Beam, no crit thankfully. Alright Solar Beam, what you got? The victory, that's what you got. That is a nice, clean Lorelei fight. Now, folks who watch Gen 1 runs might think of Bruno as a joke here, but he's anything but here in Invasive Species. We actually match up kinda well, but I'm still worried about this fight. Here, let me show you why. Rock Tomb, thanks to Shield Dust, won't drop our speed. We can set up the sun safely. Because we're still faster, Onyx is obviously a one-shot. Next up is Hitmonchan. It's going to be a 2-shot, but Rock Tomb is doing quite a bit of damage. Machamp is next. Interesting choice. We deal great damage with Psychic, but unfortunately it does have a Citrus Berry. Cross Chop doesn't deal that much, but neither does Psychic, prompting Bruno to heal. I go for an SWB to no avail, and look at that critical Cross Chop. That's what you get when you 4 times resist a move. We outmuscle Machamp, but Hitmonlee is faster and has Mega Kick. Now you might think here's where we teach Giga Drain, and I don't think it's going to matter all that much. If he sent out Onyx earlier, then I would teach it, but I don't think that's going to be necessary here. Rock Tomb in Generation 3 also has a 20% chance to miss. As we get ready to battle Bruno yet again, that does not happen unfortunately, but the sun is up. And just like in the first attempt, we trade Psychic and Rock Tomb, unfortunately getting hit. However, as if Dusttox thought it had to make up for that perfectly average luck, we crit and one-shot Machamp with Psychic. Continuing that stroke of great luck, Hitmonlee misses with Mega Kick as we take it out. The special defense drop doesn't matter, but it's always cool to see. Alright, in preparation for Agatha, we'll slap on a Persim Berry in case the first Gengar goes for Confuse Ray. because other than that, there's not a whole lot this team can do to us. So confident, in fact, that after that super strong opening against Gengar, we're gonna go SWB fishing and have Agatha waste a full restore. Yeah, there's a bit of strategy in that fishing there. We miss Silverwind to get confused, but the Personberry kicks in, and then we hit and get an Omni Boost. Oh yeah. Well, with +1 SWB, Golbat's a one-shot with Psychic. Haunter obviously is too. Gengar 2 is not, but it only goes for Shadow Ball. Pretty weak against us. Last is Arbok, but it doesn't matter. One shot and it's done. So Lorelei, easy. Bruno, a little bit of a hiccup. A small road bump on the road, if you will. Agatha, very easy. Lance, not easy. We don't have a great move for Gyarados. Aerodactyl has ancient powers, so maybe Lance will get some Omni Boost action. And his ace, Dragonite, has wing attack coupled with same type and a massive 134 attack stat. I'm not feeling lucky. Well, it's a good thing we didn't attempt no saving because I forgot to restore power points, which, well, that might also be a first. A lot of firsts here in Invasive Species, I think. Put an asterisk next to first. But yeah, Hidden Power Ice was not very nice. Dragonite had a ton of health remaining, so yeah, it's pretty obvious that we have to rare candy up and make sure that we drink that medicinal grape-flavored elixir. Having rare candied all the way up to 75, will that make a difference? Judging by that damage, probably not. Yeah, there is a bit of a difference in our damage, but it's negligible at best. We have 94 health going to the next Pokemon. Yeah, I think we're in a bit of trouble here. This is looking awfully familiar. You guys ever get the sensation of deja vu? It's probably nothing. And if we somehow get by Dragonite, which would mean we would have to get through Gyarados with a ton of health, prompting Dragonite to set up Safeguard and us not getting one shot by Wing Attack, Aerodactyl is super fast, way faster than us, and has ancient power, and wing attack. Well, the solution is to feed Dusttox more candy right before a battle, very healthy. Now, if there's any battle we need SWB boosts in, it's this one for sure. We're gonna need 2, maybe 3 SWBs. With those odds, we might as well be playing Shotgun Carousel from Saw 6. Now, earlier on, I was kind of thinking I should have held on to Solar Beam and Sunny Day, but I don't think so, because we'd have to set that up for Aerodactyl, and yeah, good luck pulling that off. We'd also have to take out Dragonite while the sun is up. Solar Beam deals a lot more damage, but Giga Drain can keep us at least a little bit healthier. Speaking of health, there's an SWB. We'll switch to Giga Drain, heal up nice there, and look at that, we tank Hyper Beam. Gyarados is low, has to recharge. I consider resetting here, and I'm like, you know what, let's just go for broke here. And good thing we did, because we got a second SWB. Let's hope we don't need a third one. I do try for it, but don't get it. Out comes Dragonite. We'll switch to Hidden Power Ice. Thanks to getting SWB twice, we have slain Dragonite with Hidden Power Ice, as well as the rest of Lance's team. The other reason I thought we needed 2 or 3 was to make sure that we outsped Aerodactyl, which with 2 we did. With how unbelievably difficult Lance was, actually not that worried about the champion because we have much better coverage for his team. Our coverage includes Giga Drain, which will turn Rhydon into a full heal because it's double weak to it. Who needs items against a champion, guys? Just bully Rhydon with Giga Drain. I have to say, too, although our level is very high, 5 hours 31 minutes before the champion is not too bad considering our base stats and the fact we focus more on defense than offense. Alright, as we battle the champions, Pidgeot, we go for Psychic, he goes for Aerial Ace. We trade Silverwind and Feather Dance, and we get the Omni Boost on the second use of it. No Sand Attack from Pidgeot, I'm disappointed. Unfortunately, thanks to Feather Dance still having us at -1, Alakazam does survive and it sets up Reflect. However, Reflect does not save it from a 2-shot. There's our full heal. Thanks, Rhydon. You're the best. And hey, check it out, Psychic and Special Defense drop. Fire Blast brings us to half health, but not a big deal thanks to that Special Defense drop and SWB mean combo. Executor hits us with Egg Bomb as Silverwind almost one-shots it. The champion will now proceed to drown Executor in full restores. Well, we need some water to fish in anyway because there is another SWB. Well, he goes for another full restore. We'll switch to Hidden Power Ice and take it out. And, you know, just to sprinkle this Gyarados with a bit of trolling, we'll go for Giga Drain. Despite all its rage, it's still just a rat in a cage. Psychic takes it out, we win. Now, you see why I scolded Pidgeot? If you just Sand Attack, you would've won, man. Sand Attack, the deadliest attack in the entire Pokemon universe. And there's proof of that because Charmeleon used Smokescreen earlier in the run. It didn't have the same success. I gotta say, this run was very fun, just as exciting as I figured it would be, because, I mean, again, I love Dusttox and Beautyfly, so I already knew this run was gonna be fun. Having some Silverwind shenanigans thrown into the mix, that just made for a perfect little adventure for this guy. Unfortunately for Dusttox, Lance really ruined the momentum. Level 80 is D tier, 5 hours 36 minutes. That is A tier, but because we were so dependent on SWB for the later half of the run, I'm gonna put Dusttox in the C tier. Next up here in Pokemon Invasive Species is Pokemon Ruby with 1 Venomoth. I'll see you guys there. Later.